Where do Spirit Halloween employees go on November 1st? They always disappear in some Spirit Halloween burst. Maybe they're laid off, but I think it's worse. I think they're killed off and taken in a Halloween hearse. Turned into costumes with a Spirit Halloween curse. They go cowboy, Superman, inappropriately dressed nurse. There's only one way for the smell to be reversed.
You can't film here.
No, we're just doing like a TikTok. It's just like a TikTok.
You can't film here.
Good morning, sweet world, and welcome to the No Dunks podcast on the Athletic Network. It's Tuesday, November 1st, 2022. I'm J.E. Skeets here in the Classic Factory, and alongside me, as always, is Tas Mellis.
Podcast listeners, this is for you.
Next to him, it's the bearded one, my top shot hot boy, Trey Kirby.
Heyo.
Hey, yo. And over yonder, making the magic happen, super producer, JD.
Hello.
There he is, and here we are. How did trick-or-treating go last night for you gentlemen? I know you had the night off. You've done it all weekend. You've done it all month.
It was great for me. I was done.
What about you?
Oh, we're loaded up.
Yeah?
Oh, 2 pumpkins full in about an hour and a half, to the point where our kids were like, I got enough candy. Let's go hand some out.
Wow.
Unfortunately, we only had 2 trick-or-treaters come by, so we have our whole house's allotment of candy as well, but it was great. I would say that Kit Kats seem to be the most prolific candy.
Yeah,
right
they
now.
made a comeback. They made a comeback.
Kit Kats are back.
Love
All
it.
right, yeah.
There's a lot of white ones out there, too, which aren't nearly
Not as good. Not as good.
No.
We like the chocolate.
Did you have a lot of kids in your neighborhood?
Nah, not really.
No.
I think maybe 4. Nah,
Wow.
Like, yeah,
I had
maybe.
7 total kids.
Wow.
3 groups. That's it.
Yeah, what's going on?
We got a trick-or-treat here next year. We'll bring our kids into the Classic Factory and we'll hand them candy.
Okay.
That's the best option we got.
JD, you said you barely had any kids too.
Yeah, hardly anything. Very early saw a woman and her kid walk right by the house. They didn't even come up the driveway. It's a bit of a hike.
You have that
it's
steep
a
driveway,
hike.
yep.
And it was a little, small child and a rather large woman. So I don't think she wanted to.
She's like, we're not going up
I'm
there.
not going up there. Also, I was at the side of the house sculling a Guinness and grilling sausages, so that
spooky.
might have
Yeah.
turned her off as well. So.
Okay. Well, shout out to the stream team joining us live right now on YouTube. Please subscribe, like, comment, share the show. Get your No Dunks merch over at nodunks.com. Immaculate items, always available there. Send in your questions and comments to nodunks@theathletic.com. We'll probably hit the beach. Maybe tomorrow we'll sprinkle some in.
Yeah, it's a light night in the association.
So get your cues in or your comments in. You can tweet them in as well at NoDunksInc. That's INC on the end. And if you haven't already, grab yourself an athletic subscription. Go to theathletic.com/NoDunks. Okay, on today's show, we're going to do a little up-down fun. Remember the up-down report?
I remember
I
that.
haven't done that in a while. We got some topics to throw some thumbs up or down on that.
Oh, yeah.
But we'll go through the games here first, and we'll start with the Clippers edging the Rockets 95-93 on Paul George's clutch play. And I think he was listening to yesterday's podcast, or maybe he was in the stream team for all we know, because Trey Kirby, you were calling him out. You're saying, come on, PG, no Kawhi, you got to step up, and he did last night.
He was at 19 points per game heading in to last night's game, basically shooting 25% from 3 prior to the season. He said, I'm just the number 2 on this team. Kawhi Leonard is our number 1, but Kawhi Leonard hasn't been around, so Paul George, he had to have been listening. You think he's a stream teamer? Most likely. I mean, it's an early start.
It's
West
early
Coast
on the
time.
West Coast, yeah.
So either way, if he's listening after the show, thank you very much. But
Fishing and potting, probably. He's a
Fishing and
fisheries
potting?
podcasting out
that's
there.
a good point, yeah.
Do you need things to do while you're fishing?
Yeah. Throw on a podcast, see what the boys are saying.
Yeah,
not bad. He came out fired up. He was into it right away, looking aggressive right away. Finished with 35 points, 9 rebounds, 8 assists, 6 steals, and 2 blocks. Very close to a 5x5.
So close.
However, he did hit 5 threes.
Yeah.
Are you willing to accept that as a 5x5, Skeets?
No.
You can't accept that?
No, come on. I need my traditional box score stats.
You need the traditional
yeah.
stats.
It's funny. I was trying
Hold
to
on,
stretch.
let me catch this bug here. Yay!
You got it?
You got it!
Wow.
That bug was bothering us on yesterday's show, and we got it today. Sorry, continue.
That doesn't matter.
There's a lot of Halloween candy around here. There's bugs
Oh, that's a good point.
looking for candy.
Were you handing out apples over here at this house? Boo.
Maybe that's why no one showed up.
Yeah, exactly.
I was thinking the same thing looking at Lauri Markkanen's line. Can we stretch into made threes for a 5x5? I don't know why I was thinking that.
We're desperate.
Just because we're desperate for 5x5. They don't
We're
happen.
so desperate for a 5x5.
Because it's so much more difficult to get the 5 in both of the defensive categories.
5
Doesn't
blocks
happen.
for sure. Yeah.
That's the truth. But what a game here from PG.
What a
And
game.
the clutch shots,
the
too.
ending,
Yeah.
too.
Exactly right. He came out and he was into the game right away. At one point, Ty Lue ran 3 straight mid-post touches for Paul George against Tari Eason, and he scored on the first 2 with a couple of jumpers. Then on that, they doubled him. He went around, found Terrence Mann cutting for a hoop. He was just playing a perfect game. Down 5, though, late in the fourth quarter, Paul George went for an assist, a 3-pointer, a steal, and then obviously hit the game winner as well.
Tough game winner.
Tough
Eric
game
Gordon
winner.
played that
Great defense.
pretty damn well, yeah.
Hands up. He took a little bump. Great challenge, but Paul George can elevate and hit a jumper. So he looked like the number 1 guy out there. The Clippers desperately needed a win, especially considering Kawhi Leonard is not going to be going on this road trip with them. Who knows when he's coming back to play, it kind of feels like right now. So shout out to Paul George stepping up when his team needed him.
They absolutely do need him. This was an ugly basketball game. They just won at the end
Yep.
over a Houston Rockets team that is asking Eric Gordon to do a lot. Eric Gordon having so many plays run through him on the offensive end. He's their only real veteran guy that they can run through things. And then he's guarding Paul George at the other end in crunch time. I hope for Eric Gordon, although I'm sure he's a great vet on this team, that this is finally the year. We've asked year after year after year after year for him to find a team where he can contribute to a winning situation. And he seems like he's ready to do that because he's playing so well, in this role that they shouldn't be asking him to do.
Right.
But the Clippers situation is dire, as you said. No Kawhi to join them on their road trip here. They are built to have 2 superstars at the front of their roster, and it's spooky scary that he's only played in 2 of 7 games after having so much time off, the entire season off, not going on this road trip. Although there are guys to come chip in, we talk about the depth on this Clippers team. It is truly a team built for 2 superstars to lead the way. And yeah, Paul George finally stepped up to have one night, but they barely beat the Rockets.
I know.
So they're struggling in behind Paul George to get some consistent play.
I like that Paul George said after this game he takes full responsibility for their record right now. So he's owning that. But you're right. If they had dropped this and the Rockets had their chances, that would have been, 2 losses to OKC the Clippers had. They were losing games by usually double digits over the last week or so. And they pull it out because Paul George comes through with the heroics. Because those were big shots, big plays. I love that pick and roll with Zubats there. You said when they were down 5, they needed that one. Then a great timeout call by Ty Lue, too. They had got the stop. They're coming back the other way. Nothing's really happening. You're trying to get the ball to Paul George, but the Rockets are pressing up. And he's like, all right, timeout. Let's run something here. And then that resulted in the Paul George having Eric Gordon on because Jabari was on him at first, a little more length. Paul George couldn't sort of get separation, and then they called the timeout, got it back to Paul George with EG on him, and he rose up and he hit that 3. And then that set up the turnover there where he pulls, pops it loose. It's one of those funny steals that he gets credit for. I mean, he created the steal, but it goes, I think, was it Morris that picked it up? And he almost bobbles it there. Fine. I'm all right with that.
Yeah.
Sometimes, though, I
on
feel
the
like they
tip.
go back and forth on who they give a steal to sometimes. Right?
Yeah,
the guy that
usually.
created it, the popping it out, or the guy that sort of like grabbed it and corralled it. It's sort of weird.
Yeah, usually it's the grabber, I think, but it's the
They switch it
creator.
up.
It's the creator who should get it, I do think.
I agree.
Agreed.
And no John Wall in this game either. Yeah, they're lacking behind Paul George, and Reggie Jackson hasn't come out to play all that well. So yeah, you have depth, but at the same time, not much in the creating department as we talk about creators. So Paul George had to do a lot in this game. He was great, though.
The Rockets, I mean, in the end, it's like, yeah, I guess they would like the victory, but would they? Like another close game, entertaining game.
You don't want to be the Utah Jazz winning so many games.
Oh man, Spurs and Jazz, they can't lose these teams. All right, well, let's move to Utah. What is going on with this basketball team? They crushed. Yeah, that's right. They crushed the Grizzlies again. 121-105. John Morant played in this. There was some questions heading into it during the day whether or not he was going to suit up for them, but he did. So the Jazz improved to 4-0 at home here, Tass. I mean, are they for real? I mean, when are they going to fall off here?
Well, it's a Grizzlies team last year that won 56 games, obviously going up against this Utah Jazz team, and to me, it must feel like they're looking in the mirror with this Utah Jazz team on the other side, because they can go 10-11, really, really talented guys deep. And obviously, the Grizzlies have John Morant at the top of their roster, but there was a reason they went 20-4 without him last year, because they had so many guys. And with the Jazz trades of Rudy Gobert and Donovan Mitchell and Bojan Bogdanovic, they have inserted a lot of guys who can just play. From Cleveland, they got Markkanen and Sexton, and from Minnesota, they got Vanderbilt and Beasley. They were able to get Beverly, who they swung into Talen Horton-Tucker. They got Kelly Olynyk. And you watch them play, and it obviously can come from absolutely anywhere on this roster. Clarkson and Conley sort of lead the way, but then because Kelly Olynyk's allowed to make a play, and then Jared Vanderbilt's hitting those lefty threes in the corner, you don't really know, who to guard. Obviously, Markkanen will pick and pop you to death, but he's the guy that could be an all-star this year. I think if the Salt Lake City is hosting this baby,
I forgot about that part.
We'll be there in February. If it's either Clarkson or him, I know I'm jumping ahead here, and we have a question about all-star appearances later on in Up Down, but the way Lauri Markkanen is playing, if they're anywhere close, they're not going to be a 750 win team here. They're 6-2, a 750 win percentage, probably not, but. It is like they're playing the Grizzlies of last year, because when you come off the bench with guys who can score like Sexton and Beasley and Talen Horton-Tucker to some degree, you just can't take a play off.
Right.
And
there's waves of guys.
Yeah, and
just still coming.
Yeah, and obviously the Grizzlies didn't have Bane, and that hurt. But the Jazz are going to play real tough defensively. Markkanen's line of 31 points and 11 boards is impressive, but it's the 4 blocks and. It's, again, like 3 7-footers essentially with Olynyk, him, and Jared Vanderbilt. Dude, it's tough. I thought John Morant's big night was difficult to get to his 37 points with the way he had to go inside against these monsters. And I'm glad, we were making our Tic-Tacs and our shorts in the summer, because that forced me to watch Eurobasket. I was having some Finnish breakfast watching Lauri Markkanen play. I was having Israeli breakfast watching Denny Avdia play. So that makes me believe that Lauri Markkanen can be pretty close to what he's doing now. I think he can be a 20-point-per-game guy with the confidence he has. He's obviously stronger. And if any team is ever thinking about, should we have our guy play summer basketball for his national team? The answer is absolutely yes, because this is what it results in. He looks like an NBA player, and Danny Ainge, yeah, maybe he wants fewer wins for this Jazz team, but at the same time, he's set up to trade for a star in any sort of realm of salary, because he's got so many different salaries, like every single value on this team, so he can put together any sort of package to trade for a star. They're overachieving, but at the same time, they're fun to watch because they kind of play different with the huge guys, and again, you don't know where it's coming from, whether it's Conley or Clarkson or. Man, they have so many scorers on this team, which you didn't think you would say about this Utah Jazz team.
Things unraveled for the Grizzlies in the second quarter, because Utah held Memphis to a single basket in 6.5 minutes, and there were like a million turnovers during that stretch, and the Jazz were scoring off of them. They hit 19 three-pointers, Utah did, and Markkanen, with the 31 and 11, he's a monster. Trey, are you buying the Utah Jazz here? Or you know what? Another question: how refreshing must this be for Jazz fans after the Donovan Mitchell, Rudy Gobert, hey, we're good, we win a bunch of regular season games, and then we crap the bed in the playoffs, and we just point fingers at each other and all that, to then have this with no expectations, like the lowest of lowest expectations, and to have like this scrappy bunch that is just playing really hard.
Well, I would rather have it this way than stinking it up out of the joint. My guess is that in the long run, Jazz fans will probably prefer their team go into the playoffs, which they were one of the best regular season teams we've seen in the past 5 years. This Jazz team I don't think is going to make the playoffs, but at least they seem to have some players who are going to be sticking around for the next era of the Jazz. Markkanen, chief among them, maybe Sexton as well. I don't know, though. I'm a Bulls fan. I've seen Lauri Markkanen be one of the captains of the El Tizo team. February 2019, 26-12 for 10 straight games. Guy looked like the future of the Chicago Bulls. But he looks like a different player right now. He's shooting. His average shot distance is 2 feet closer than it has been his entire career. You can tell he's bigger and stronger, and you can tell that playing on a team with no expectations, he gets a little bit longer leash, so he gets to stay out there and play through mistakes, which has been huge, because now the three-point shot's coming around. 9 for 21 in his last 3 games. That's 43%. The guy's was a shooter when he came into the NBA, and that was the problem with the Bulls. They just said, go stand over there. Somebody will pass you the ball maybe eventually, and he just would be very passive. That has not been the case, and I do think a large part of it is being the go-to guy for Finland, right? You're like, you got to handle every single possession. Yeah. You come to the Jazz, it's very similar in that you're going to get a lot of shots, and he's been making the most of them.
Yeah, it's Boylan. Boylan did this to him.
Boylan's the worst coach that we've seen in the NBA. A decade.
But those guys could do some push-ups.
I don't think Markkanen could do push-ups back then. That's probably a huge change as well.
Yeah, he looks cut.
He's shooting 85% in the restricted area right now. Probably won't last, but that's pretty crazy. He's actually getting easy buckets now instead of just standing around.
Yeah, because you have to guard everybody on this team, and yes, some way, shape, or form, he's grown that confidence, and they're finding him. On the other side, obviously, you don't have Bane to add on to not having Jaren Jackson Jr. That hurts in the Grizzlies' offensive.
Yeah, I really
hierarchy.
I kind of think the Jazz just really outshot the Grizzlies last night. They made 19 threes, and the Grizz made 6. No Bane, no Jackson. That's a huge thing there. The Grizzlies crushed them inside. They won on the glass. So I think it was just hot shooting from the Jazz, but we'll take it.
Yeah. But also to add into the hey, it's fun to play in Utah thing going on right now, like Dylan Brooks.
Yeah.
You know Dylan Brooks, the perfect Halloween player because he's just a pain. He's a bit of a devil. You know, he that's what he likes to do. He stepped over Mike Conley, and that got the crowd going. That got Mike Conley going. It's great to see him hitting triples. You had Kelly Olynyk, of all people, turning around, getting the crowd pumped. Hate the black and neon floor, but it's one of those arenas that's kind of hard to play in, and it's happening right now.
We should find out, maybe in the next couple of hours here, coaches of the month. Who's going to get it? Will Hardy, Pop, Billups there in Portland? Who would get your nod for the short month of October? I believe they do it for October. We should get players of the month and coaches of the month and stuff like that.
Oh, give it to Will.
Almost has to be, right?
I think so.
It's one of those three guys in the West, right?
Yeah. Will snuck it. I think Will just snuck
Willie
in.
style.
Yeah.
With that last
How
win.
about Lowry Markkanen for player of the month? He's going to get it over who? Your Lucas, your Jaws. He's got the wins. He's got that 6-2 record. It's possible. Other game. Let's move over to the Eastern Conference. This was a really, really entertaining finish. Drew Holiday delivers as the Bucks just eclipse the Pistons 110-108, and they stay unbeaten. Milwaukee 6-0. Tassa, I don't know how much you caught of this one, but Drew Holiday with a step back 3 with 40 seconds to go. That was massive.
Yeah, that's how deep they are. Drew Holiday can play sort of under his capabilities or below his capabilities for most of the season now because you've got Giannis and Brook, I think, is the biggest thing. You can't play offense against this team. And Drew stepped up with Grayson Allen out as well. Obviously, they haven't had Chris Middleton the entire season, and they're still unbeaten. But Brook is the biggest thing for me. It was such a luxury to watch yesterday because Grayson Allen goes out. They say, oh, yeah, Brook Lopez used to be a 20-point-per-game guy in the post. Let's do that. They go to him in the post. And then he's obviously on the defensive end. He's leading the league in blocks per game. It's impossible to play offense against this team. They're taking away the threes now and funneling to Brook. And it's like Brook is going to take Karl Anthony Towns' title for the best big man shooter in the game. I mean, he's on fire from 3, too. He's averaging 2.5 threes made per game. That's a lot. This team just stepping up around Giannis. Very difficult to play. Very, 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 very tough to play. Without their second best player, they're still rolling.
Yeah, that's the wild part, that they are unbeaten and Middleton hasn't even played. But scrappy performance here, I thought, from the Pistons, especially in a back-to-back situation. They got back in this game. They had chances to pull it off. Cade had some looks. Unfortunately, he was coming up short at the end. Had a good line overall, but what'd you take away from this one?
Yeah, fun stuff from the Pistons, and I think it was Brook Lopez who gave them the ultimate compliment, who said, they're better than their record, which is what you want to hear when you are a tanking team. You're playing hard, and you're just not winning the close games. And like you said, Cade is awesome. He started slow out of the gates this season. First 4 games, kind of average, not shooting the ball very well. But in his last 4 games, basically since the Pistons put on Teal, he's been balling. 26, 8, and 6 assists 4 games ago, followed by 35, 9, and 8, 23, 10, and 9, and then 27, 6, and 7 last night. The only concern, I would say, He's 30% from 3 right now.
He has a funny
three-point
release.
attempts. Yeah.
It's an odd release, the way it comes off his hand.
He was a good shooter in college. Like, he was a 40% shooter. He shot the ball all the time. He's obviously taking a lot of threes still. That's the next level for him because he's pretty crafty finishing inside. He seems to have improved his foul drawing capabilities, going to the line a little bit more. But actually knocking down three-pointers will kind of, take him more so to that Luka level of player. I'm not saying he's going to be an MVP candidate, but the same sort of style. But he seems to have found his rhythm in the last week. So, yeah, taking some losses, but that's all good this season.
Yeah, it's wild to see this game because it's like the glaring differences between the ages of the teams. Like where the Pistons are super, super young. Only one guy in their starting lineup is older than 23 in Bogdanovic, being one of the old guys there. And then the Bucks, like they're just all old in NBA terms, like all in their prime, sort of 27 or older, and you got Lopez 34, Holiday 32, and those two hitting those big threes late was important because the Pistons under Casey, I think, wisely went zone on this team a lot there in the second half. They have no Middleton, they have no Connaughton. Allen, goes out, and it's like, all right, try and just keep Giannis, put as many bodies as you can there in the paint and clog it up. And he was missing some bunnies there late, I thought, too, but it was the right strategy, I thought, by Casey, and they nearly pulled it off. Really, really strong effort.
Yeah, and Drew to hit that game-sealing three.
That was huge.
It was, and it's something he used to sort of have to do way back, more with the Pelicans and more with the Sixers, and so he can, but this is such a luxury to have this guy that they traded for, traded the entire kit and caboodle for, and were able, obviously, to come out with a championship, and that's where they are, and to me, that's a scary thing watching the Hawks that we'll get to. They traded the whole kit and caboodle for another defensive guy in DeJounte Murray, and they can't get the freaking thing together. But on the other side, just to mention Cade, as Trey said about his run, the reason why they were comfortable extending Bojan Bogdanovic is because Cade is doing what he's doing right now. And the next couple of years, if they don't trade Bogdanovic, it'll be fine because Cade's growing into that number one pick. Yep. And I know you were high on him as going to be the best player out of that 2021 draft. Mm-hmm. And I got lots of faith in Evan Mobley and Scotty Barnes as well, but it sure looks like this guy is the guy you can put an offense on his back and he'll be fine carrying the whole thing.
Well, let's talk about that Hawks game. Siakam, Spicy P, Spooky P last night, 31 points, 12 boards. Raptors destroyed Atlanta in Toronto.
That was sad.
139 to 109. It was sad.
Sad for them.
Good for us.
Well, yeah. Pascal, there's got to be a little MVP talk. I mean, he's one of the better.
Sure. You want him to sit down at the table?
Yeah.
I saw my first MV Pascal on Twitter
saw it
last
too.
night.
The propaganda is
obviously
running wild.
Yes.
And rightfully so right now. The guy is insane.
He is absolutely insane. The entire thing going through him. You'd think with Fred VanVleet out.
He did have a back injury.
He did. You called it. Yeah. There you go.
Like, hey, why did he go 0 for 11 and get his ass torched by Maxey? Well, maybe he's injured. I said this yesterday. It's like, okay, I guess he was a little bit.
Yeah, hopefully Freddie doesn't have lingering issues because it's been – he made the All-Star team last year, and then after the second half was rough for him injury-wise, so hopefully he's back. But you think with him out, the Hawks would have no problem, but they can't get up for anybody defensively, really. That's the worrisome part. Again, they traded – everything for DeJounte Murray, and they don't have a defensive identity whatsoever, really. And then on the offensive end, you're playing this team that has very much a defensive intensity and identity. My God. So fun. So fun.
So annoying to play against this Raptors team, I think. If you're like a Trae Young or something like that. They just push, obviously, with all their guys that can switch, and they just push you so far out. Yeah. I mean, it's like what we saw the Heat do with, obviously, the Hawks last year in the playoffs, and that's what the Raps did last night. Season worst, 18 turnovers for Atlanta, and that just means 1 million fast break points for the Raptors, and they just bullied them. And it's like, I don't know, maybe it's because we went down to the Fortress, Trey, and saw the Hawks get destroyed by the Hornets about a week ago, and then watching this one, the entirety of this game last night, Hawks feel like you can just push them around.
Absolutely.
And they have not a lot of backbone.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's my takeaway from that.
And then the worrisome part is that Trey just kind of hung out on the perimeter when he wasn't committing those turnovers. They get pushed around. 10 turnovers for him, 10 assists, the old 1-to-1 assist to turnover ratio. And I totally agree. They got outfought. They are 4-3. Obviously, it's not a horrendous. But you expect them, with a very light schedule to start this season, to have a little bit of a better record. They've lost to the Bucks and the Raptors, two really good teams, along with that Hornets loss. So, yeah, not terrible losses, but you want them to take a bounce. Yeah, you want them to take a step with everything that they traded for DeJounte Murray, because where else are they going to get better? Yeah, you wanted them to take a step, and that hasn't happened.
From 26th in defense last year to a whopping 24th so far this year. I think they're going to have to go to Okongwu as the starter pretty soon, just because Capella doesn't have the same pop he used to during the 2021 season. He was good. He was good back then, led the league in rebounding, but suffered an injury and just still looks a little bit slow. Okongwu at least brings the intensity, even though that'd be a pretty short front line with him and Collins. Nonetheless, the Hawks were so lackadaisical. 6 turnovers in the first quarter. You could tell they weren't completely into it. Trae Young just standing out by the logo whenever somebody else has the ball. Very James Harden-esque. So people will come down on him in not too long. Apparently the Hawks had a meeting after the game. I don't think it was totally a players only
I don't think
meeting.
so.
It was more like, let's just hang back and talk a little bit. DeJounte Murray was asked if it was productive, and he said absolutely. You could tell by guys' ears and eyes.
Hey, people are tuned in.
How can you tell by somebody's ears?
They're
perks.
they're saying, there's affirmation. Yes.
Okay, yeah.
I mean, that means they're listening.
Doing this
maybe
thing.
asking questions.
I
a lot
like
of
that.
nods.
Interactive.
Yeah.
Devil ears, maybe.
That's important because they need to get on the same page. And, it's hard not to think back to last season when the Hawks came in and just thought that since they went to the conference finals, they're going to be going back to the conference finals. It feels like they felt like they made a trade, so we're going to be better on defense without putting in the work on defense.
Yes.
And that's exactly what they need to do.
Yeah, I think they hold themselves like a team that's won 3 straight titles, and it's like you've won shit. Like you've got to play hard, especially against a Raptors team, and they start seasons like this all the time, like Trey said. It's despite the decent record, and they are trying to figure things out with Trey and DeJounte and all that, but you'd like to see better defense. And Hunter's actually been okay for them; he's at least playing. Yeah, weird, but. Back to the Raptors for a second. You're talking about it might be a fun debate moving forward. Who is the best player from that 21 draft? I'll tell you what, if Scotty Barnes is adding 5 3-pointers made per game, then it's going to be a lot closer or more interesting debate and conversation between him, Cade, and Mobley or whatever. Because that was, he's the point guard last night where there's no Van Vliet. Everything goes through Siakam too, but he was stepping in with some confidence on these 3-pointers last night. So unguardable if that's happening. Career
high in triples for Scotty Barnes. Barely a jump on that 3-point shot. It's not John Morant-esque. Ja's got a little bit of a lower hops on that, but barely getting his feet off the ground. Yeah, it's not the purest of strokes when you're watching it, but who cares? They're going down. Yeah, if he can add that, and he can add the shove, just the bully ball as soon as he puts his head down, I think that's going to get better and better. Yeah, the injury slowed him down a little bit to start this season, but I believe in Scotty.
One other note from this game, watching it, Nav Bhatia, super fan, sits baseline, near the opponent's bench. I think that guy's the ultimate shit talker. Because if you watch him, every time the Raptors score, he stands up and chirps at the opponent's bench. Yeah. It's got to be so annoying at a certain point, right? Like every single basket, he stands, he points, he's talking to them. I love it as a Raptors fan, but holy crap. That's got to be irritating.
I'm telling you, I saw Nav Bhatia's championship ring on the screen like 100 times last night because he stands up and they get just a great shot of it. It is a weird experience, though, when you watch a road game, you watch, like we're watching the Raptors at home.
Yeah,
but
road feed.
You have to watch the road feed because we were watching here in Atlanta. It's just weird to listen to the road feed for a home because it's like they're just talking trash the whole time about the team. But you would never know it if you're in Toronto. You have to be in Atlanta specifically to hear it. Also weird, Bogdan Bogdanovic did the color commentary for the first half for the Hawks, followed by Travis Schlenk for the second half. Travis Schlenk said he had never heard of poutine. The guy's been in the NBA for like decades at this point. They go to Toronto multiple times per year. Clint Capella gave it a 3 of 10. Poutine. Wow. A sideline host, a 2 of 10, said the cheese was too tough. I don't know.
It can get curdy.
Yeah, well, that's the point.
Squeaky cheese.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, that's funny. Yeah, I got off that Hawks feed. I was on the NBA app. I said,
Same here.
Thank you.
I'm going to listen to Devlin.
As soon as Bogdan Bogdanovic, I'm pretty sure thinks Pascal Siakam is Italian. He's like, Pascal. I'm out of here. But actually Bogdanovich was decent. He as soon as Barnes hit a three, he goes, how many threes does that guy have? Like you could feel he was in the game. He was like, just shut that guy down. What's going on out there? But I don't know. You think, as Torontonians, I think you could probably be in Toronto and not know about poutine.
It's definitely more of a French Canadian thing, but it's not like
Trey's looking at me like I got 5 heads. I
mean, sure, that's where it came from. It's not like they don't have poutine shops in Toronto.
For sure.
No, like actual. But these guys. I don't think Bob Rathman's venturing far from the hotel.
Come on, he's got that steak restaurant.
I mean, that would go perfect with his steaks. Steak and poutine.
Steak frites. Bob Rathman's steak frites.
With the NBA app, League Pass.
Yeah.
Does it automatically go to you to the road
Yes.
broadcast? I don't like that.
Change up. That was a change up this season.
I like the option. Give me the option to go with who I want. But I feel like the default should be the home team. Right?
Yeah.
When you fire up the
used to
game
until they switched this year.
Yeah. That's just weird.
And then you
You weren't blacked out? Y'all weren't blacked out?
No. What League Pass you got? You don't got the souped up one maybe that we got.
Maybe not. Maybe I got the JV version.
Yeah. That's when you were saying that, I was like, I was watching the Raptors broadcast.
That's crazy to me.
I didn't know that.
What happened?
Okay. Anything else on Hawks-Raps?
No, that was a blow up. That was
Hey, these are good wins for the Raptors. They've beaten the Cavs. They beat the Sixers. They split with the Sixers, and they now have beaten the Hawks. And those are teams it could be jumbled up with, in theory, when it gets to potential tiebreakers and stuff like that with the playoff races, which is a long way away. 3 other games. I'll throw them all at you. I hear a dog barking in the background.
Yeah, my feet are sore too.
Yeah, man. Harden, Maxey lead the 76ers past the Wizards 118-111. KD's 36 lifts the slumping Nets to their second win of the season against the Pacers, and Huerter and Mitchell propel the Kings past the Hornets 115-108. Sacramento Kings on a winning streak, baby! But any takeaways, notes? What do you got?
It was almost. The Nets almost gave that game away against the Pacers. They were spanking them, then it got super close tied in the fourth, and then they managed to pull away. And obviously didn't cover the spread, as we'll get to a little bit later. The Sixers did it by committee. It's interesting watching them play without Joel Embiid and watch Maxey do his thing because James Harden, it's getting to that point of the season where it feels like Harden is willing to defer a little bit more.
17 assists last night?
Yeah.
Career high, I think. Tied
phenomenal.
Yeah.
And on the other side, the Wizards are a team that does it by committee, and it's good to see Porzingis still kicking it. He's doing his thing extremely well. He's not fading. 32 points on 17 field goal attempts. He was just in the lane, and different types of shots, I think, for Kristaps Porzingis. Like you said about Lauri Markkanen, the shots are coming in a little bit closer to the rim. I don't know the distance that he's shed on his shot attempts, but they feel a lot closer. He feels like he's rolling a lot more and getting buckets. So that's a nice little bonus there. It looks like Porzingis is healthy and playing well.
Trey, any thoughts on those 3 games?
Yeah, the Wizards are 0-3 since we talked about whether or not we believed in the Wizards. So, good thing we all said no. Also, Kyle Kuzma had a wide-open fast break dunk with the reverse, and he missed it. I don't think I've seen Kuzma do a reverse. So, probably was trying to get one in the Bucks.
Yeah.
What else? From the Kings, Kevin Headband Huerter, the best pull-up shooter in the league right now, according to NBA University. 14 of 19 on pull-up threes, 78%, by far the best in the NBA, on or above that volume. StatMuse, shooting 53.2% from 3, first in the NBA among players with 40 or more attempts. The guy put on the headband. He's lights out at this point. This was a fun game to watch, though. PJ Washington, an absolute bucket seat in the Chevy Trax in this one. He was just going back and forth. It did not matter who the Kings put on him. He was scoring in the lane. And we also had a crazy Mason Plumlee meltdown here in the fourth quarter, late in the game. The guy throws an incredible pass to get a 3 for McDaniels in the corner. He spins in the lane, looks off, throws a no look, wide open, knocks it down. I'm trying to clip it and rip it and ship it. And in the meantime, he has a fast break turnover and a 5-second violation.
Yeah.
Basically to lose the game. I was like, well, I went through the effort. People are still going to like this because it's Plumlee. But 21 turnovers for Charlotte, turned into 25 points for the Kings, even without Fox.
Yeah.
That did the Hornets in.
Yeah, I mean, the Kings lost Fox in this game. Sabonis, once again, fouled out. He's been doing that a lot, so they pulled it out. I was ready to, in watching this game down the stretch, when the Hornets were in control for a little bit, I was like, uh-oh, Kings are... I'm ready to come on tomorrow's podcast and say the Kings are absolutely done. See you next year. See if you can beat the streak or snap the streak of not making the postseason. But they pulled it out, so they needed that there, and Huerter a big reason why. And Mitchell hitting some big shots. He had a quiet season so far, I thought, too.
Definitely.
So hit some clutch baskets for them late.
Yeah, they've got... as we've said, it feels like they have the depth, and Davion Mitchell hasn't been doing a lot. Well, the Hornets, without their starting backcourt in Rozier and Ball, don't have the depth, so they're looking through Mason Plumlee to make a lot of plays, and this is kind of an under-the-radar thing that happened Saturday when they were hosting the Warriors, but the Warriors went to hack a plum. They literally took Plumlee off the floor because he's shooting his free throws with one hand, his left hand, and the Warriors bench was mocking him as they're doing this motion like he doesn't have a guide hand on the ball whatsoever. He's just chucking it up.
It does look crazy.
It does look crazy. Right. Everyone's talking about it. They're seeing it in the fourth quarter. They're like, "What is this? We haven't seen this before." And they just decided to hack him and got him off the floor. Although he was 1 for 2, as they hacked him a couple times, 1 for 2 each time. But it is a strange one.
Yeah, and he's a right-handed shooter, by the way. And then he's now at the free throw line shooting lefties.
It's a Tristan Thompson thing going on there where he switched hands. Ben Simmons potential thing where Kevin O'Connor says it should be Ben's actually right-handed, not left-handed. Yeah, is he left-handed or right-handed? It's hard to tell.
I can't tell. He never
Both-handed.
shoots. Yeah.
There you go.
I do love that Basketball Reference has Plum Dog Millionaire for Mason Plumlee. That's one of the nicknames. That's good. That brings joy to my heart. So. All right, let's hear from you guys out there in the stream team. Anybody listening later, any notes from any of those games last night? We're going to take our first break, but when we come back, the Up-Down Report.
I can't deny it. I was legitimately thrilled when JD sent the ad rundown this week because Grammarly is back! Our old friend! The Classic Factory loves Grammarly because when our fall schedule fills up with activities and obligations and classics, even a small time saver can feel like a big help. Grammarly's all-in-one writing tool makes clear, concise communication easier than ever so you can be confident and efficient writing emails, reports, presentations, and even YouTube shorts. Wasn't too long ago, Grammarly dropped me an email and said I hadn't been writing lately. Step your game up. Turns out I was inadvertently logged out. So I popped in my credentials and boom! Comprehensive spelling, grammar, and punctuation suggestions, plus instant proofreading. I love you, Grammarly. Get more time in your day with confidence in your work with Grammarly. Go to Grammarly.com/NoDunks to sign up for a free account. And when you're ready to upgrade to Grammarly Premium, you can get 20% off just for being our listeners. How easy is that? That's 20% off at GRAMMARLY.com/NoDunks.
Are you wasting money on subscriptions? 80% of people have subscriptions they forgot about. I am 100% in that camp. I even set reminders on my to-do list to cancel my subscriptions, and I just ignore those reminders. It's more of a do-do list, really. It does nothing for me. If only there was a tool to cancel the subscriptions I didn't want. Well, there is. You may have heard of it. It's called Rocket Money, formerly known as Truebill. It tracks all of your expenses, and because of it, you will no longer waste money on subscriptions you don't even use. Do you know how much your subscriptions really cost? Most Americans think they spend around $80 a month on subscriptions, when the actual total is closer to $200. I know that affects me. That's right, you could be wasting hundreds of dollars each month on subscriptions you don't even know about. Rocket Money takes care of that. Well, how does it work, Tass? Well, here you go. The app shows all of your subscriptions in one place and then cancels for you whatever you still don't want. Rocket Money can even find subscriptions you didn't even know you were paying for. You may even find out you've been double charged for a subscription. To cancel a subscription, all you have to do is press cancel, and Rocket Money takes care of the rest. Get rid of useless subscriptions with Rocket Money now. Go to rocketmoney.com/NoDunks. Seriously, it could save you hundreds per year. That's rocketmoney.com/NoDunks. Cancel your unnecessary subscriptions right now at rocketmoney.com/NoDunks.
Okay, back in the Classic Factory with the boys. Let's get to the Up-Down Report.
Prepare your tubis.
It's the Up-Down Report.
Yeah! The Up-Down Report. Throw some thumbs on it!
Oh, whoa.
Thumbs up or thumbs down on the following topics and questions. First one, guys. Thunder guard Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and Bucks forward Giannis Antetokounmpo have been named the NBA Players of the Week for Week 2. Give it up to them. SGA, he led OKC to an undefeated 3-0 week with averages of 32, 8, and 5. His Week 2 was highlighted by a 38-point, 9-assist gem against the Mavs on Saturday as he led the Thunder to a wild comeback. And then you see there Giannis doing Giannis-like things. The Bucks undefeated, averaging 36, 15, and 6. Sure. But the question off of this is about SGA there. Are you up or down on his chances of making the 23 All-Star game? Right now, where are you going? Thumbs up or thumbs down on the
chances? I think good chances. Actually, I'm surprised. I'm saying this, but
the chances are up.
Chances are up, but there's a good chance.
Okay, we'll take you through it.
Because I think there are 5 guard locks: Luka, Curry, Booker, Lillard, and John Morant.
Yes.
Yeah.
Factoids.
Yeah. As long as Lillard plays, absolutely.
Yeah.
It's those 5. Yeah.
There's got to be the respect All-Star nod for him.
Yeah.
So
that's 5.
And usually it gets 6. There's going to be injury replacements. Got to count that. Anyway, so there's usually 6 forwards anyway. So there's probably a 6th. There could be a 7th, like DeJounte Murray, who got in there. DeJounte Murray and Donovan Mitchell got traded out of there. Clay not playing to his capabilities. Jamal Murray not playing to his capabilities. So I think who he's contending with would be sort of an up-and-coming team guy like C.J. McCollum, De'Aaron Fox even, Jordan Clarkson, I'm going to say it, and Anthony Edwards. So there's a chance. Anthony Edwards not making it the way the Wolves are playing, so there's a good chance. I think right here, right now, I think McCollum would probably get that 6th spot. Mm-hmm. Considering he's the old guy, it's like the Conley nod over Shai, I think, with the way they're playing, and you need a Pelican, and it's not Zion. So, if Zion's not playing, then McCollum has a better chance, and then Shai doesn't. But if Zion's playing, I think that's the only guy who would get it over him in the 6th spot. I think it would be CJ, but that could change because Zion's back.
What do you think, Trey?
I think the chances have to be up. I don't know if winning the first player of the week is like winning the first Star Baker on Great British Bake Off, but if you win the first Star Baker, you've got a great chance at winning. I would love to see the stats on that, and I would love to see the stats on the first player of the week making the All-Star game later on in the season. I would just like to see it. So somebody else do that, because I looked it up, and at one point it was Domantas Sabonis and Brandon Ingram. I know they both made the All-Star, but was it their first one? Nonetheless, who knows?
This is also Week 2.
This is also Week 2. Did we have a first one?
Yeah, I don't have it who won it, but
we got a first one for 3 games?
Well, it's literally said in the write-up. It said Week 2. Yeah.
That's weird. I don't know about the second Great British Bake Off, but I'm rooting for Shabira. That being said, Shai, elite
good.
driver,
Got good
elite
flavors.
Great flavors. Great flavors. Sometimes the texture, it's a question. And one time she served a floating meringue that looked like a fried chicken breast. And Paul Hollywood said, no, thank you.
Yeah.
That looks like chicken, and it's supposed to be a sweet.
Her presentation
leaves a little to be desired.
Yeah. But the flavors, the creativity through the roof. Anyway.
Much like Shai Gilgeous-Alexander.
100%.
Plays with a lot of flavor, incredible creativity, one of the best drivers in the game, elite stats right now, basically career highs across the board. And like you're saying, Tass, it doesn't feel right now like the Suns will get 2 All-Stars, so maybe there's a spot opening up there. Doesn't feel like the Clippers will get 2 All-Stars. A spot could be there. Anthony Edwards, probably a year away. I kind of do think that Damian Lillard staying healthy and De'Aaron Fox staying in the mix are going to be his competition. So now that the bet is passed, I can get on board with Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, maybe making an All-Star game.
Okay, so people are saying in the stream team, thank you very much, Tatum and Lillard won Week 1 Players of the Week.
Nice.
So there you go. I'll just reiterate what you guys are saying. I mean, of these 3 names, 2 of them are your guaranteed starters. Steph, John Morant, or Luka. So 2 of them are starting the game, and then the third one is in no matter what. Devin Booker, I think he's basically at that point as well, really, is that 4th name. Lillard, long as he's healthy, he is back to form after the injury. This guy's good for 30 points per game. So that's 5. You went through that. The good news for a guy like SGA, DeJounte Murray is over in the East. Donovan Mitchell is over in the East. Chris Paul is probably done making All-Star teams, I think, at this point. I mean, you probably would have said that maybe 3 years ago, and he made a couple more. But I feel like it could be the case. So then, yeah, it's like SGA, it's De'Aaron Fox, it's McCollum is a great one, being in his 10th season and not making one, Edwards, and then maybe like a Desmond Bane as a possibility, shooting the lights out from 3 when he's playing. Keldon Johnson, he's more of a small forward, but like he's a guard small forward. He's I guess I'd consider him more of a forward. Big body Johnson there, but yeah, those names. The chances are good though. If they're 500, yeah, he's in. But are they going to be 500? The Thunder for SGA.
Doubtful.
Yeah,
Probably doubtful.
That's the biggest obstacle. I agree.
Yeah.
But you're getting close.
But you're averaging 31, 7, and 5, and obviously taking over games late and doing it with style. That helps for sure a little bit. It's going to be very, very close. Probably best chance is to be like a replacement.
Yeah.
If somebody gets injured.
Yeah, just like DeJounte last year.
Yeah.
Who's the floating meringue of the NBA? Like,
who is the floating meringue of the NBA? I don't even know how to begin tackling
I'm
that
just,
one.
Floating meringue of the NBA.
just going directly French. It's a French dessert.
Oh, okay.
But it's got to be a French, like, I think Rudy Gobert's not a floating meringue.
Do you like floating meringues?
I don't know.
Oh, you don't even know. I couldn't tell if you thought they were
most
like an
people are
incredible dish or a
confused.
bad dish. Yeah.
Well, I like a meringue. I love a meringue. I've just never seen one floating before. That's why you got to watch the British Bake Off.
Yeah, GBBO. You never watched a single episode?
Yeah, sure. Of course.
yeah,
I've watched Mr. Hawkins.
Our guy.
Sockins.
Damn, I always call him Hawkins.
That's Stranger Things. All right.
Yeah,
Our next one here. This one, a crazy one. Indiana Pacers center Myles Turner. He says the Lakers should do what it takes to bring him to L.A., even if that means trading multiple first-round picks. Quote here, if I'm the Lakers, I take a very hard look at this. With the position that you're in, this is Turner talking to Woj on his podcast, I know what I can provide for a team, my leadership, my shot blocking, my three-point ability, and just my ability to make plays out there on the floor. He had a lot more to say. Again, this is Myles Turner talking to Woj saying, man, yeah, the Lakers should trade for me. I'm Myles Turner, baby. Are you up or down on telling a team to trade for you on a national podcast?
That's a tough call. That is a tough call. Ultimately, I'm going down just because I didn't know a player could tamper themselves. Is that a thing?
Yeah.
I think players can get away with it. It's not really tampering. It's the ownership and management can get away with it. You can talk about other teams.
That's true.
Players can talk about other teams.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, seems next level. But
Yeah. And just very bizarre to get it in season and to get like such a straightforward response. It's not like he's saying, yeah, they should trade 100 picks for me. I'm Myles Turner. I'm awesome. He's like just grading a trade that he obviously wants to happen.
Yeah.
And then he goes out and he goes for 7 points on 2 of 8 shooting, 5 rebounds, 2 blocks, and 4 turnovers. Immediately after saying this, he's quiet quitting.
Ah, wow.
Medium quiet quitting, I
Yeah.
would say. He did basically quit on the podcast saying, trade me. The one thing I did like that he said is I just feel like here in the Midwest, we don't get the love that I think we deserve. Doesn't get taken on the national level. Good Midwestern boy here. Good old Midwestern boy.
What do you think? You thumbs up or thumbs down on this? It's a little odd.
It's odd. But I listened to the entire thing, even before we talked about, even before it came up in the old Google Doc, and the way he answered it, instead of just reading the headline, it was a measured take. It was like, well, if I'm Rob Pelinka, draft capital is very important to a GM.
Yes.
I mean, he's sitting there very measured, but I'm a solid player. I know what I can add to the mix, blocking, 3-point shooting, and as Trey said, he went into that game against the Nets and just chucked. They weren't nice chucks.
Not a great game.
No, not a great game. I don't think he did a good job. I don't think he did a good job following up his comment with his basketball play.
Yeah.
So
He's doing the opposite of let your game speak for itself.
yeah, he's speaking.
Yeah.
He's doing the speaking. I like it though. I don't mind it. I don't mind it happening in the podcast game.
This is crazy from you because you are always talking about locker room this, locker room that,
I
the
do,
vibes.
yeah, I love locker room.
Guys
They
fighting
don't
hard for each
care.
other. How?
Pacers are done. They don't need vibes. He doesn't. He told he told the front
Okay,
office
fair.
last year. He said, "I'm out." He said, "I'm done. Trade me." So yeah.
I mean, like, I guess
no
my
props.
point is, like, yeah, his teammates or anyone else within that organization definitely is looking at, like, this guy, like, okay, he doesn't care to be here. He doesn't want to play with us. Because he didn't even do, like, the calculated, like, hey, I'm still an Indiana Pacer, you know? I'm still going out there and giving it my all. Like, even as cliche as it is, you sometimes want to just chuck it in there to massage the message a little bit.
Yeah.
No, he's just like, nope. I've just been waiting to be traded for years, and no one will trade for me. And come on, Lakers, I'd love to play on a marquee team. I'd love to play for LeBron. He had a lot of other things to say. Yep. Not just getting out of the Midwest, getting some more attention, but playing with LeBron and a big
the Midwest.
team. I guess.
That guy's done with the Midwest. He is.
Yeah.
It's like
Been there for a while.
Too much cord.
It's like I don't think he even has a locker in that locker room. I think he just dresses at home and comes in.
Hey guys, comes in.
Yeah.
I'm gonna shoot some threes tonight, block some shots.
Yeah, him and Buddy Hield, they're both done. They are both. Did you see Buddy Hield's closeout on Kyrie Irving's ceiling shot? What kind of defense is that? So those guys are both done.
Okay.
Get
just a
'em
matter
out.
of time.
Get him up. But yeah, we'll rob.
Bud Healed. Sounds weird. Bud Healed.
Yeah, I think I just watched. I was kind of falling asleep, and Married with Children was on. So Bud.
Wow.
Great Midwestern show right there.
They're still showing that reruns.
Nah, I just made that up. But probably somewhere they're showing Bud and Seven and Kelly.
Nice.
What
was the mom's name?
Peggy.
Oh, jeez, look at this guy. What was the dog's name?
Comet? No.
No, that's Full House. I actually don't know the answer.
Well, it looks like Comet. Maybe that's why I'm
the
saying
dog's
it.
name on Married with Children? Why do I feel like it was also Bud?
Maybe Marcy Darcy can go grab that dog and bring him back, so we can. Jefferson Darcy, Marcy Darcy, would you bring the dog back? Because I don't know its name.
It's Buck.
It's close.
Nice.
Dang.
Nice look
I knew it was close.
Anyways, get Bud out of there.
Buck and Bud Bundy.
All right.
7. They just created a kid. Like 8 seasons in, they got bored. They're like, here, throw a kid into the mix. It's like, it's an old kid. Anyway. Anyway, last thing. I don't think Rob Pelinka's given up a draft pick. After watching that, I was watching Eric Gordon, and I hate to link every single player who's available to the Lakers, but wouldn't you rather buy low on something like that? I know Myles Turner's a different kind of player, but to make a trade, to upgrade you, I don't know.
So hold on, what are you saying?
I'm just
to get
saying,
both players from the Pacers? Buddy
I'm just
Hield and
saying-
Myles Turner, you're saying
I'm
it
just-
should just cost you 1 first-round pick? And then Russ?
I just don't think he's given up 2 first-round picks after watching what's happening.
I feel like if he was, it would have happened by now. So, yeah, you're probably right. He really doesn't want to.
Yeah.
He's going to dig his heels in there. Final one here. We learned yesterday that the Philadelphia 76ers will have their second round picks in the 23 and 24 NBA drafts taken away from them as a result of violating free agency rules by having early discussions with P.J. Tucker and Daniel House Jr. In its announcement, the league said the draft picks were stripped away because the 76ers engaged in discussions with both players, quote, prior to the date when such discussions were permitted, end quote. So, yes, the Sixers are losing 2 second-round picks in 23 and 24 in the draft. Are you up or down on the NBA's penalty for violating the free agency rules? Because we've seen this a couple of times now.
Oh, gotta be down. Gotta be down because the penalty is barely a penalty. Certainly, second-round picks matter, but it usually matters for the best teams because they're using those picks to acquire players. So they're kind of using those picks to acquire players. If that's the price you gotta pay it. The Bucks are the only team to get this punishment and not actually get the player they were going for with the Bogdanovich trade.
Yeah.
Bulls got their guy. Heat got their guy. Knicks got their guy. But you can tell this is an easy thumbs down because of a tweet that Woj had where he said the NBA and NBPA are expected to revisit the rules that punish teams discovered to have had discussions early. The practice is rampant but hard to police and largely impossible to eliminate. So they're basically like, we've got a really toothless penalty here because it's impossible to figure out when Jalen Brunson's allowed to talk to his dad. Pretty much, right?
Yeah.
How are you supposed to police that?
Yeah.
You can talk about Thanksgiving dinner, but you cannot talk contracts.
Yeah, everyone does it because the penalty is so lenient, and the penalty is so lenient, and everybody does it. You know, like it works both ways. It just has to get tougher, or you get rid of the penalty whatsoever altogether, because people are going to talk about it.
People are going
at
to talk.
Thanksgiving dinner.
So you just
Rick's
think
going to talk to Jalen.
Okay, well that is
It's one way
that's
or
a
the
unique
other.
one. That one is apparently still under investigation. So they're really looking into the Knicks signing Jalen Brunson away from the Mavericks this offseason, whether they jumped the gun on that. But yeah, you brought up Lonzo Ball with the Bulls, Kyle Lowry with the Heat. They got dinged, those second-round picks. Same with the Bucks, now the Sixers.
Yeah.
But you're like...
But it happens so much.
Yeah.
So it's difficult for the NBA to just start going first-round picks.
Right,
even.
right, right.
Like if they actually do investigations and they actually want to come down on teams, they kind of have to go lenient with the penalty, or they have to make it so it's such a tough penalty that teams stop, or take it away altogether. Something has to change. Everyone does it, so the penalty's lenient, and then it's so lenient everyone does it. So it's you got to get rid of it.
The penalty's wild because it's actually hurting players trying to make the NBA. What do you think about that?
That's a good point.
Those picks don't go to anyone else.
They
They're just
disappear.
taken off the board. That means less players are being drafted with a chance. I know second-round picks. It's not like they're all like automatically a lock for an NBA roster or even a G League team, stuff like that. A lot of them disappear and go play somewhere else, or maybe don't even ever play basketball again. But you don't get an opportunity. That sort of sucks.
Fair.
Yeah.
Fair point. Conspiracy theory: the NBA just wants to build up the G League, so they get rid of all the draft picks. All the draft picks go to the G League. G League becomes a better minor league.
Nice.
And the G League's picking up steam.
We're gonna go to a game here in Atlanta.
You better believe it.
College Skyhawks.
College Park, Skyhawks.
Thank you.
Yes. These are professional players.
They're not in college.
Yeah, it's out by the airport, isn't it? It's the same place the WNBA team plays.
Yeah,
the Dream Play.
That's where Dwight Howard's from.
Yeah.
College Park.
There you go. We're heading out. Let's take a break. When we come back, pick 'em results and a very funny tweet of the night with a great question off of it. Don't go anywhere.
So it was HOCO this past weekend at Lincoln School. That's what the kids are calling homecoming these days.
God.
HOCO. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, HOCO. I don't know.
It's
HOCO.
okay. It's fine.
It's fine. That's how he Lincoln posted pictures from it, and he used the tag HOCO. It's like, all right, HOCO. Anyways, it was time for me to step up and be a dad for once and buy my son a suit. Woo! So yeah, normally I don't mind performing my fatherly duties, but suits, definitely not my thing. Way out of my comfort zone. I have to Google how to tie a tie every time I tie a tie. Anyways, I was immediately overwhelmed, kind of freaking out, so I started Googling best places to buy a suit in Atlanta, and then I realized in my panic, we're probably going to have to leave the house. But then it hit me. Indochino.com, baby.
Yeah.
That's how stressed I was about this. I forgot about one of the OGs of ad partners for us. So I just tossed link in my iPad and said, go to Indochino.com and buy yourself a suit. Boom. My work is done here. Dad achievement unlocked. All I really had to do was break out the measuring tape and jot down his stats. The rest was up to Lincoln. And he had some decisions to make. Color, favorite fabric, favorite style. How do you want those lapels? Vest or no vest? Make it a tux? Oh, you know he clicked that box. And luckily, he knew what he wanted going in. A black suit, burgundy shirt, and no tie. Yes. He could have got it monogrammed, but decided against it because, frankly, that suit's going to be Jack's in about 6 months. Let's be honest.
Oh, right. Pass me down.
Yeah, exactly. The kid's 6'2", he's still growing, and does not care about basketball. It's very, very sad. But for now, the suit looks fantastic on Lincoln. There's really nothing like having a tailored suit. So design your perfect suit with Indochino and get $50 off any purchase of $3.99 or more. You bet your ass we use that promo code NODUNKS. That's promo code NODUNKS at Indochino.com. Indochino.com. Promo code NODUNKS.
All right, we're back. If you ever wonder what goes on during the commercial break, JD goes and yells at his dogs to stop barking, and Tess, on his Apple Watch, booked an exterminator appointment during the break. It was amazing.
Yeah, I got a call. Marriage is all about compromise. I do not like paying for an exterminator.
I wouldn't think you would.
Why do you say that? You think I like my roaches?
No.
Got 2 exterminators right here.
Yeah, just like that feels like something Tass Mellis doesn't love to give
interesting.
whatever. I don't know. How much you pay?
You're
$49.99
calling me a thrifty.
Smart with your money. Your money Mellis for a reason. And it's like I got a
cheaper
feeling
than
you're like,
$50
what's it really doing? It's probably bringing more bugs than it's killing.
That's a good Tass impression. But yeah, anyways, I booked it. Taking a call on the Apple Watch. Sometimes I like it. Sometimes I don't. Siri just started.
Yeah, great.
Stupid thing. Anyway, yeah, the dogs were happening. I thought we just had a new sound effect during the up-down report. I thought Jade Hoy was adding some sound effects to this baby. Up, down,
Get at me. No, what's going on out there? Dog's okay? JD, yeah.
Dogs are good.
Okay.
They're just guarding the house. An exterminator on his way up the driveway.
Oh, go get him. Sick him. Yeah, it is one of those things. It's annoying when your dog barks. You're like, shut up. Stop barking. It's not a big deal. But then you're like, awesome.
Yeah.
Good job, dog.
I never scold them. I always go, good dogs. Good. Yes. And then they stop. They're like, okay, good. So you heard me. You understand what's going on here. Yes, I do, Hazel and Cosmo. And then they chill.
Okay, good.
And then they chill.
No, you want to protect the house, man. Protect the factory here.
A couple of items from our man Jerome.
Okay. What's this? All right, this is
wow,
Tass.
well done.
Pulling up a photo here. Tass with the tweet. Me and Kevin Durant are exactly the same. Our first basketball jersey was Vince Carter.
Yeah, Kevin Durant coming out after the game after passing Vince Carter on the scoring list. Said his first jersey was Vince Carter. Same Vince Carter. Same Kevin.
That's cool. Look at young Kevin. That looks great.
Future Raptor, yeah. Drake thought he was bringing him. Drake thought he was bringing him to Toronto after OKC. Didn't happen. One day.
You think so?
No, I'm lying.
I could see it.
They gotta bring back Gravis Vasquez.
Yeah,
His friends.
End of his career. We'll have KD play 1 year on the Raps.
Be a Hakeem Olajuwon situation.
Yeah, probably.
Masai could have traded for him in the offseason. He could have.
Yeah.
You got a championship team on your hand if you have Kevin Durant
Whoa,
up there.
we have a championship team on our hands now.
Do we?
No, but we're damn good. All right, pick 'em results from last night. It was the Pacers-Nets game. Brooklyn was favored by 8.5, and it looked like they were going to cover that, but the Pacers got back into the game, and they covered. Backdoor cover there. Good stuff from the Pacers. Trey and I improved to 5-5 for the month of October, but Tass got it done in the end, 6-4. Which means we're not sure. I mean, just good for you, man. hey, we'll come and look for bugs around your house or something.
Thank you.
Yeah. We'll kill every bug in your house. Or what about reverse couples massage? The two of us massage you.
Yeah, that's exactly what you should do.
Oh, that's it?
Yeah, we'll bring in
that a reverse
a massage table, and you'll do the whole show. And then Tass will have a camera underneath for the hole, and you guys will just massage them. We'll light candles. It'll be beautiful.
Jesus. Okay.
Yeah.
Dibs on top.
That sounds great. Well, let's do it all over again here, eh? Month of November?
Yeah,
What do you say?
eh?
We'll keep our tally all year long.
I like
that little graph there from Jerome. So tonight's game, what are we going?
Well, it's a 4-game night in the association. TNT doubleheader. Oh, is there football on tonight? TNT going up against football? Oh no, it's Tuesday, so we're all good. They can have their doubleheader. We're staying away from that doubleheader though. We're going with 2 underperforming teams. The 3-4 Warriors visiting the 2-5 Heat, and going against my old first game back from a road trip at home. Not so great. I'm going with the Heat just because I read Sam Amick's article on the Miami Heat today. Jimmy Butler said 2-5, don't care, we're going to win the freaking NBA championship.
Wow.
He said 2-5 now, we could go 77-5, or you'll look tomorrow and we'll be 77-5 the rest of at the end of the year. Or something to that effect. Wow. Anyway, so I'm taking them. It's
So yeah, they're about to rip off a 73-game win streak.
Yeah, thank you for doing the math there.
To Jimmy.
Yeah, they're 1.5-point dogs at home to the Warriors. You guys have the Warriors.
Yep.
Yes, we do.
Yeah. Any real reasoning?
Not really.
No.
Beginning of the month, feel free to let it fly.
That's the spirit.
They played a couple bad games in a row.
That was my mostly reasoning. They botched it twice.
Yeah.
They got me out of this survivor pool right away. Thank you very much. But now I still got to win this pool. or at least not lose this pool.
right,
Finish
well, good luck.
right in the middle is the place. it seems
Good luck. Good
Yeah.
luck. Tass, the only one taking the heat. Who are the dogs at home there? But small line. Trey and I have the Warriors. Let's get to tweet of the night.
Tweet of the night. Wow.
Oh, I love that. Love that effect.
This tweet of the night, I got the dogs barking. That was my bad. Cosmo, Hazel, that's my bad. Sorry.
Talking right now.
Hey, JD, you gotta go say good job. Good job. This tweet, I will admit, a little visual. A lot of funny jokes in the visual contents of this tweet. It's from Mia, who asked, what is your greatest NBA fear? And the video, the clip that is accompanying the tweet is people at a haunted house just getting absolutely terrified by scary clowns and people in like weird, I don't know, pig face costumes and masks and stuff like that. But then it has over it a bunch of funny NBA jokes. So it's, Russ terrified of going to the bench and Pat Bev trying to stand his ground, and you get the idea. Okay. Kyrie afraid of consequences of his actions there at the end. But a very funny tweet. Sorry, JD, as he goes to attend to the dogs. That's my fault. What is your greatest NBA fear?
I got a serious one. More of a serious one. A 4-point line is my greatest fear.
Wow.
Don't want that. We already extend out to the 3-point line enough. We're already missing the post play enough. I'm worried that if there was a 4-point line, we'd get even further away from the hoop. There'd be a lot of 4-pointing. There'd be a lot of, the math. And we don't want that. We don't want that.
You don't?
We just talked about going down to a College Park Skyhawk game, the G League. We were down in that same arena watching some WNBA last year. And we looked at each other and said, that's nice to see a post-entry pass, even if it's not a spectacular move. I don't know if it's a little old man yelling at clouds. Oh, I like basketball the way it was when I grew up, but I think it's just the variety. And I think if we start going to a 4-point play or a 4-point line, then we're going to see a lot of 4-point shots.
Isn't that going to open it up even more, though, Tass, for the
driving
for the bigs
lanes,
to go to work down
athleticism?
there? Yeah.
I don't know. I don't think there'll be as much post work. I think there'll be driving lanes. We may see more athleticism at the rim, but I think the math is still going to win out, and they're going to say a 2-point shot. No.
And these guys can hit them in theory.
Yeah.
From
math
30
would be
feet.
tough.
Okay, that's a hell of a fear. The 4-point line coming maybe in the future. What do you got, Trey?
Anything involving teeth, like
Someone getting hit?
teeth to the floor, teeth to the head, teeth to the knee. Like David Lee got hit in the arm and like he got sepsis in his elbow from like a tooth biting too far. Most injuries I'm fine seeing, like ligaments and breaks. I can handle it. Those ones aren't the gross ones to me, but like something involving teeth. I don't know why. Teeth just feel too precious. Like, ligaments are going to heal. A bone is going to mend itself.
Yeah.
But you only get 2 sets of teeth, and one of them falls out right away. Got to take care of those other ones.
That's a good one.
Oscar here in the stream team says they should make a 4-point shot and raise the rim to 11 feet, Tass. Wants to get really crazy with it.
Oscar P. McGillicuddy, your name is crazy. I don't know if that's a real name, and you just dropped a crazy comment there. 11 feet? Kyle Kuzma can't even dunk on a 10-foot net.
Oh, jeez. What do you got to do, Kuz, like that? He's having a great season.
He's having a great season.
Missed a dunk. All right, that is a fun question from that tweet from Mia last night. What is your greatest NBA fear? Drop it here in the stream team. Leave it in the YouTube comments. Tweet it in at NoDunksInc.
You got one?
I don't really. I'm sort of racking my brain right now while you guys were answering. I really like those answers. No.
Well, let me ask you while Skeets is thinking about it. You'll come up with
Okay.
one.
That's my
When's the last
greatest
time you hit the
NBA
dentist?
fear.
When's the last time you hit the dentist? Because maybe I'm projecting. I
Who are you
haven't
asking?
been Trey.
Oh.
While you think about it.
I'm still in between my most recent checkup and my next 6 months checkup.
Oh,
so
so you're
sometime
on-
in the last 6 months, yeah.
So you're on pace.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
can't you tell?
Yeah,
Do you still
got
have
great
JD,
chompers.
the incredibly named dentist? Was it you or was it a doctor or a dentist?
We both, Trey and
Or
I
you
have
guys
the
share-
same dentist, Alex Rodriguez.
Oh,
Dr.
Alex Rodriguez,
Dr.
that's
Alex
it. Yeah, uses a
Rodriguez.
bat on you.
Yeah, it hurts, but he gets the job done.
Yeah. I haven't seen A-Rod in a while, actually.
Saying there is a new
There's
dentist.
a new dentist. I like her, though.
Yeah, this is they had to move A-Rod to third base and now Jeter's. Doing all the
Dr.
cleanings.
Jeter.
All right, what's your
I don't
biggest
know.
NBA fear?
I mean, I was gonna say this, but I know Trey is gonna disagree with me because I think he's on record saying the opposite. But like, that they are gonna like take a year off or two of the dunk contest.
Mm-hmm.
So they're going to take away our dunk contest. Because it's been bad. Look.
They should.
That's a
and
good
I know
one.
you said that.
They would get 1 year off.
But, like...
Get the people excited again.
I still get hyped every year. I talk myself into it every year. Oh, as long as we have 2 good dunkers, it'll be fine. And maybe we will this year. Maybe
I caught myself. I saw Shaden Sharp doing some dunks.
Hell yeah.
Vince Carter's excited.
Hey, that's all I need to hear.
Got my heart rate up a little bit. I said, nah, not this year. Be pleasantly surprised by Shaden Sharp. So I'm not going to watch him dunk for the rest of the year.
Okay.
Vince got pumped. Vince got pumped.
Yeah, he said he's the next me.
Oh, wow. Jeez, that's
He's
some
lying.
praise.
Zach LaVine is the next Vince Carter.
Yeah.
All right. Tommy says player strike or maybe a lockout or something like that.
Well, that's
Yeah,
real
we
scary
talked about that
stuff.
yesterday.
Scary
Yeah.
hours.
Ooh, no basketball. What would we do? Go on tour again? Take the show on the road?
That'd be nice. Listen, I want a dunk contest. We're
Yeah,
going to
yeah,
be
yeah.
in Salt Lake City this year.
We're going?
Unlike last year, who were sitting here. Yeah, I think so. I think it's within the budget. We'll all be there.
Okay.
And what are we doing on Saturday night? We're going there for a 3-point contest and a skills competition.
You're right.
We need something.
No,
should
we
go.
need the dunks.
We'll
we
go.
need the
Shaden.
dunks. I think I'm going to Utah, hopefully for All-Star Weekend.
Yeah.
And then like a few weeks later to do a little hiking trip.
Ah.
I've never even been to Utah, and I'm going to be there twice, hopefully in like a 3-week span.
It's a beautiful place.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Lots of
You
great
loved
mountains,
it.
yeah. It's cool how they just stuck a city in the middle of the mountains.
Oh.
And they've got a beautiful train station.
Oh, I love trains.
Very picturesque. I imagine we might have some gentle snow falling from the sky. It'll look like a postcard.
Jeez.
Wish you were here in Salt Lake City, Utah.
Is that guy that used to make the going crazy about when the trains come in still around? We should get him out.
guy. Yeah.
Be a correspondent for us.
Fly him out. We got the budget.
Yeah.
No doubt.
What's this budget you guys keep mentioning?
I don't know. We got
Oh,
one,
it's all
though.
these likes. I think we get $1 for every like.
I did not know that.
Yeah. That's what I heard. So
Know that.
We are going to Salt Lake City.
All right.
Yeah, that is in the budget. Train guy, I don't know.
okay.
He's going on his own time.
What was that guy's name? I can't remember. I can picture him perfectly.
Yeah, totally.
Awesome look with the camera right in his face. Getting super hyped about trains coming. Will? Was it Will?
Oh, there he is.
Francis Bourgeois. TikTok's biggest train fan. See you in Salt Lake.
All right, buddy.
Francis.
Francis.
The floating meringue himself, Francis Bourgeois.
Okay, we're calling it there. We're off the tracks. Francis would love that joke. Join us later today over at No Breaks. Trey and Graydon breaking down the, let's be honest, somewhat uneventful Mexican GP. Not a lot happening in the race. I watched the race. I can say that. I actually watched the whole thing.
Q1 for Graydon. Did anything exciting happen in this race?
Well, I was watching it with him, and his son peed all over our kitchen floor.
I can't wait to hear about that. I think we're gonna talk more about pee.
Yeah.
Tres Leches cakes.
We made taquitos, homemade taquitos.
Oh, taquitos. I love to hear that.
Yeah.
I don't want to spoil my take here, but homemade taquitos, too much work.
It was a lot.
It's a lot of work.
It was a lot of work
for a taquito. Probably paid off. A delicious taquito, but just get a frozen one. Will be my recommendation.
wow.
My recommendation going forward.
right.
But man, that Tres Leches cake was an absolute banger.
Yeah.
I
Nora-
saw it on
yeah.
the gram,
Nora brought it
hoping
for
it
the
was
Mexican
coming the
GP.
next day. But we got other fun stuff planned. We'll talk about that NASCAR race.
Oh,
the guy just
yeah.
sends it up the wall. Very cool. And if you got questions you want Graydon to answer or me to fake answer, send them in because
Okay.
we could use them right now.
Okay,
Yeah,
send them
it's a
in.
boring race.
Tweet them in at No Dunks Inc. Tweet at Trey Kirby. Questions for the No Breaks team. Live at 1 p.m. Eastern here from the
Live
Classic
at 1
Factory.
p.m. Eastern.
Hey, I want someone to explain to me the NASCAR part where he goes along the wall. Like
Okay.
why that worked. Someone just break it down for me.
Break it down.
Seeing the clip, it's amazing. It's incredible, but I'm like a little confused like how that works.
Why that
Because
works.
just tell me. I'll listen
How
to
do you
No
go
Break.
faster when you're crashing so much?
Yeah, right.
Tune in.
Right. There it is. All right. Until No Breaks, and then here tomorrow, 10 a.m. Eastern, live from the Classic Factory for No Dunks, Clipper Bros.
You heard it here first. Have a great time. Turn up. Love you guys. Awesome.
Thanks for joining us. And remember, best hot food at 7-Eleven, you just remind me, a taquito.
It's very good.
It
That's
is
good.
Frozen are better, but yeah.
Brace the day, people.